Hey, I'm Sam.
And I'm Dane.
We shoot the shit about hockey before, during, and after the game.
But Puck Talk starts now.
Welcome to Puck Talk. I'm Sam.
And I'm Dane.
And Dane, we are at the conference finals.
We're knee deep in playoffs.
We're knee deep?
We're elbow deep in playoffs.
We're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer.
Good second round, though.
Yeah, it was a good second round. There was a lot of... I feel like every series had some sort of drama, something interesting going on.
I like the doubleheader, Game 7.
Yeah, that was cool.
There's nothing every time, if it's not the Habs and it's not like a team I'm really into, every time it's a Game 7, all I hope is it just goes to overtime.
Yeah.
That's all I want. That's all I want is for a game to go to overtime in Game 7, because that is the shit.
Yeah.
That is the...
Well, people talk about, like, if a series is tied up at 2, they're like, it's a best of 3 series now. And then if it's Game 7, it's just a best of 1. In overtime, Game 7 it's just the best of 1 goal.
It's like... That's the kind of hockey that you like. It's 1000%.
The thing you live for, growing up playing hockey.
Yeah,
it's true.
It sounds lame, but it's so. No. I love sitting down and being like, all right, it's Game 7. We're going into overtime. It's gonna be some good hockey. Yeah. I yell at the TV. I am a TV yeller. I'm yelling at the TV.
And hockey's the best sport for yelling at the TV.
Because it doesn't stop. It's like they have a power play and they're just like taking clap bombs or something. It's just like...
There's so many...
that's exactly it. And I was watching the late game, Edmonton and Anaheim, and I had to catch myself because my girlfriend was sleeping. And I was yelling. I was yelling at midnight at the TV.
Oh, man.
But yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's talk about Ottawa, New York first. That was an interesting series for a lot of reasons. First of all, I don't know. I've always said these whole playoffs, Ottawa I didn't think was that good of a team, and they were probably the weakest team in the playoffs. Here they are in the Final Four, though, beating New York in 6 as well. It's an interesting series, though, because one thing I noticed is that Ottawa only had the lead for less than 20 minutes through the first 5 games overall, and they, in Game 6, got that first goal and held the lead for the whole game. They held it down when they needed to.
I think that kind of goes with the whole theme of these playoffs, though, with how much overtime there's been.
Yeah,
it's like, games are really even, so you can go out there and you can get beat, you can be getting beat, and you're still in it. You're in it. Like how many games have had goals in the last 3-4 minutes,
or come from behind victories.
Totally
down. Yeah.
Like even the Ottawa, they were up 2-0.
Yeah. And
like in the series, and they came back.
Yep.
But yeah, that's crazy. Less than 20 minutes of the first 5, and it was also the home team won games 1 through 5.
Oh wow.
It was they kept winning at home, and then finally Ottawa took the last one. Yeah,
really impressive. All the credit to Ottawa for just in the clutch when they needed to, locking it down.
And I think watching these games, we've seen the award winners, and I'm starting to think Guy Boucher kind of got robbed of a Jack Adams nomination.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
it's hard because they can't be in light of the playoffs. It's the regular season, but clearly, whatever they're doing in the playoffs has worked incredibly.
Totally. And Guy Boucher, this is the second time now he's taken a team, second time in 4 seasons coaching at the NHL level that he's taken a team to the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean,
there's something there with him.
And I mean, everyone rips on him for playing trap hockey with Tampa back in the day, but
I watched a video of that recently on YouTube where I think they're playing the Flyers, and the Flyers fans are just booing whenever
they stop
the play entirely.
Yeah.
Like for so long.
But I think when you're a coach, I thought that was a bold move. A lot of people ripped on him for that. I thought it was a bold move because, to play trap hockey like that, it's boring, but he took a kind of a mediocre roster. He took a mediocre roster to the Eastern Conference Finals by playing trap hockey.
Yep.
And I don't think it's like his style. I think it was like, well, this is the only way we're going to win, so we're going to do it. And like that's a bold decision as a coach.
It's results at what it is at the end of the day, not like how flashy you're playing.
Totally.
Absolutely.
And I just think kind of how Ottawa has been this year, I think he's kind of gotten gypped on some credit because I didn't watch a whole lot of Ottawa at first, but man, like, I agree with you. Like, I don't think on paper, I don't think they're that good of a team.
No.
Carlson,
they limped into the playoffs injury-wise.
Carlson's playing with a broken foot, and he goes on record and says he's the only player he's ever coached that doesn't need to practice. He just goes, like, he just skips
what
practice.
A thing to say! Like,
and
tell anyone they need to practice. They're like, really, like, jeez. Yeah, no, great game, and obviously a lot of great stories with that Ottawa team. Anderson. Peugeot, his 4-goal game.
Oh my god.
Nuts. Like, it's such a storybook. This is the most storybook team in the playoffs, I would say at this point.
Yeah, totally. I think they're a storybook team, you know. Carlson is playing at such an elite level right now. Mm-hmm. I feel like he's finally I think for a long time because he played on Ottawa, he was kind of out of the picture of like not the Norris, but
right.
I just feel
elite superstar category.
Yeah, like you put him in Toronto, you put him in Montreal, you put him in like Ottawa's probably it's probably the worst team to play for in Canada in terms of media coverage.
Absolutely. And attendance, we'll get to that.
Yeah, let's get into it right now.
All right, well, the attendance in game 1, that was all over social media for Ottawa, was 16,744, which is leaving about 1,800 seats open. And for a second-round team in Canada...
A playoff game.
A second-round playoff game in Canada... against the original 6 team. This isn't like they're playing Columbus or something. They're playing the Rangers.
And their tickets aren't crazy expensive.
No, if you live in Toronto or you live in Montreal and you want to get cheaper tickets, you go and watch the Leafs play the Sens or you go watch the Leafs play the Habs there.
Let's see if I'm gonna go on right now and see how much they are. Honestly, I drove 2 years ago, 2015. I drove to Ottawa we didn't even stay the night. I drove to the hockey game and drove home. Got home at like 5 a.m. Went to game 5.
Oh yeah, you did go to that. Yeah.
It was the game. It went into OT, and I think Dale Weiss scored.
The Habs did win?
The Habs won.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm just gonna click on here and see if
how much tickets are.
Home game, Ottawa. No, we won. Pittsburgh at Ottawa. On a Wednesday night, Pittsburgh at Ottawa. Let's see how much. $102. $102.
Just
cheapest ticket.
And that
you can get
standing room?
No. Like it's just like a nosebleed, but like
that's still like
you can
get a regular season ticket for that at the ACC almost. Like that's not possible.
No, I don't think you I don't think you can get into the ACC for $100 without having a partial viewed seat.
Yeah,
I think they're partial viewed seats where like I've sat at one and I honestly couldn't see one of the nets. It was like tucked up in a corner where the box is in. It's just a crappy angle, and I couldn't see one of the nets. And I still think I paid. I mean, I was pretty young at the time, but I think I still paid $85 for that ticket, and I couldn't see one of the nets. But here you are. You can go $125, get you a decent seat.
Amazing. If they were in the Stanley Cup final and it was that price level, and I had time, I would go. Absolutely.
Don't even have yet. You made time for that.
I'm taking work off. Yeah. Really.
Yeah, honestly. It boggles my mind. It makes me wonder kind of like the future.
Yeah. Well, people are wondering, like, what is the root cause of this in Ottawa? Is it that people just don't care about the team or
People
anything?
always say that it's because of where the arena is, but I don't buy that.
Okay, but did you see this? There's this tweet that someone put out that basically shows, it takes the statistics they have at ESPN for the attendance percentages of capacity for every team in the league, and it shows them ranked, and it highlights which ones are have their stadiums in suburban areas. Ooh. And it shows essentially that how many of the, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the teams have their arena in a suburban area.
What are those 6 teams?
Anaheim, New Jersey, Ottawa, Florida, Arizona, and Carolina. And they make up the bottom 9 teams in terms of 6 of the bottom 9 teams in terms of percentage capacity are in suburban areas.
Bite my tongue.
It's a pretty good statistical, the worst team that doesn't have their arena suburban area this season? Colorado Avalanche, obviously.
Makes sense.
Garbage tire fire team. But yeah, that I think that statistic, because I kind of agreed with you before, being like, I don't know if this is necessarily correlated. I'm sure there's other factors at play, but that's a little telling, like that statistic, kind of like there's something correlated there.
I went to a Carolina Hurricanes game last season, and their rink, I couldn't believe the amount of like, and I don't know what the best word for this is, like greenery, I guess, around the rink. You literally drove past it, and I couldn't see it because there were so many trees.
That's weird.
And then you come around, you take like some ass backwards way of like getting from one side of the highway to the other, and you get in there, you kind of just pull around one last laneway, and then it's like, boom, PNC Arena.
That's weird.
It's in a bit of a weird spot, but the other thing is the PNC Arena is right beside North Carolina's university.
Okay.
And they actually share parking space. So that's why every season Carolina doesn't play a home game until like 2 or 3 weeks into the season because
football?
It's a football game, and then it's like the state fair in that parking lot, and then it's like a basketball game, like whatever. And then it's like Carolina, like the Hurricanes are like fourth on the list of like priority.
Yeah, I believe that. I mean, the Tar Heels in NCAA basketball are like one of the elite teams. Yeah, that's great. Well, it's interesting because Carolina here is by far last place in terms of the attendance capacity percentage. I don't know if you noticed that at that game at all, but
it was quiet. Like I could tell you all about like how crazy. Like I've been to like an Ottawa game. I've been to a couple preseason games. I've been to like a handful of NHL games, and it was like noticeably quiet. It was noticeably small.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Like you kind of stood in there, and like I've been to the ACC a bunch of times, and you immediately are like, whoa, this is not as like it's noticeably smaller. But yeah, like anyways, going back to Ottawa, it's interesting to know like it's nerve wracking. Like I can only imagine being an owner of an NHL team being like, oh well, we could build this this new multi-billion-dollar arena downtown, but are they gonna come?
Yeah, exactly. Is it still like do people still
like
really
1,800? That's a lot for Canada.
Yeah, that's true. That's
that's
not acceptable. I would say as like a franchise, you need to really look at yourself in the mirror after that. As a business owner,
totally. If I'm living in Ottawa, I'm going down halfway through the first, and I'm taking a scalper for his money. I'm like, hey, buddy, I'll give you $40. Like
totally.
He says no, fine. Like
it's like just stand there, and you're probably not going to sell. Yeah, a scalper outside the Canadian Tire Center. Yeah. Who are they selling to? No one's walking by. You're like, oh,
yeah. That's totally. If I'm in Ottawa, if I live in Ottawa, that's what I'm doing all this week.
Well, that series you predicted mostly correctly. You said you were on fire. Ottawa in 7.
Yeah, I said Ottawa in 7. You said New York in 6, and it was Ottawa in 6. I
couldn't believe in Ottawa, but they keep finding ways to impress me. I like that team. It's hard to not like that team.
I agree.
Everything.
I agree.
You want to dislike them as a Leafs fan. I don't know. There's not as much of a rivalry there with the Habs in the Sens, but
I think there's a pretty healthy rivalry.
Oh, you had that series. Yeah, that's true.
But I don't know. At this point,
Canada's only team, so
all I wanted was for Edmonton to win, and then somehow, some way, have an Edmonton Ottawa final, so I can so we could just post memes of like, well, America, you guys control 36% of the players, and you can't even get a team. Like, I'm so tired of hearing like, oh well, Canada, you need a cup.
Yeah,
take the cup home. It's like, okay, like that's fair.
It's
but
here most of the summer.
Every team that plays is majority Canadian. Mm-hmm. Like,
totally.
I'm so tired.
It's a majority Canadian league overall. Yeah. Oh well.
I just wanted to hear something else for once.
Yeah. Well, we might get someone. I don't know. We'll see. Ottawa,
and you know what? Last episode I claimed Pittsburgh being like the force. Like I thought Pittsburgh was gonna steamroll Washington. Yeah. And I don't know. I was wrong. It was a good series, and Washington could have taken it. They could have taken it. Man, I feel bad for Ovi.
That sucks. That series.
I sent you that interview he did. There was a little spotch of like water on his cheek. It was a tear. It had to have been. Like
How
it like shimmers in the camera a little bit. I'm
do you
like, that's a
feel
tear.
that-
That's got to be a tear.
Yeah.
I'd cry.
Oh, totally.
Like
You work that
he's
hard
probably-
every season. Well, we'll get into that later, but like this team is always right there, and there's just got to be something between the ears going on right now with every player that's been a part of that and constantly is crushed in the second round.
But I just feel bad for him because he's this amazing goal scorer. He's the captain. He's the face of the franchise, and he just can't get past. Not only he can't get past Crosby,
No.
he can't get past the second round.
That's gonna specifically hurt that you come up in the NHL compared directly to Crosby, and he's crushed you on the international stage over and over and over again.
Over.
Crushed you in the playoffs over and over again.
You know what I mean? Like, do you think Crosby feels bad? Obviously the compete level's there. He's a professional, but like on some human level, I bet you Crosby almost feels bad. Like
Everyone's got to feel bad, but like I was really carefully watching that handshake line after the game. Such a quick like. Good
they're
game,
always
move on.
quick. They're always quick though. Like if you like they give like a little tap on the chest, and I don't know what they say. Like I can't imagine
If I'm
being like,
Crosby, I'd just be like, I'm sorry, man. Give him a hug.
oh, I love Ovi, and I just can't. Yeah. I feel for him.
Well, so after this series,
Yeah, let's talk about the series. Let's talk about
Okay.
let's start with the Niskanen hit.
yeah, dirty or not dirty? What do you think?
I think it's just a hockey player that with a shitty outcome. It's a hockey player that every other player in the league makes.
Yep.
And I guess like honestly, I think what Ovi did, the slash that Ovi hits Crosby with was I think more vicious. And the Niskanen thing, I just felt like like everyone gets like it's playoffs.
Yep.
Like that's what playoff hockey is. You ask anyone who knows hockey, it's like what's the playoffs known for? It's tough hockey. It's hard, and I just think that was just a pretty standard hockey play that kind of looks bad, but like any other player commits to that play.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
It's tough.
it's hard because you're standing up, you're on your knees. Someone's gonna cross check you in the head if they were planning to just give you like a normal cross check. I don't know. That's how it goes. Yeah, I don't know.
Crosby's taking
shit
a
happens.
beating.
Oh yeah, playing probably through a concussion these last 3 games. Like
I know Mike
definitely.
Sullivan said that they cleared him, but man,
No, they did.
do you know what's so sketchy? That screw the Niskanen hit when he went into the boards in game 5 or 6. I can't
yeah.
remember. When he went into the boards, so hard that like I can only imagine how much it hurts going to the
Right.
boards like that
Just
head first.
everywhere.
And like hockey boards where the boards meet the ice, the bottom part, like the runner, so the yellow part,
Yeah.
like that is a sturdy.
It's got to hold the whole thing in
Like
place.
it's not
yeah.
like getting hit near the top where you
has some
get,
give, yeah.
you have some give. Like that is the hardest spot to hit.
Yep.
And he crashed down. And I don't understand this, but the concussion spotters couldn't pull him because
Right.
there's some kind of like there's no precedent of like
It's like your head
boards.
has to hit the ice and not the boards for it to be part of concussion protocol. That's what I said to you in our group chat. I was like, the concussion protocol should be if you hit your damn head, you go off.
Yes,
it's about your
yes.
head. It's not about what it hits.
And like the Niskanen hit looks like nothing compared to that play. And he plays through it and just I don't know. I just get some sneaky feeling. And then you start reading the headlines of like, well, this neurosurgeon says if he was a rookie, I would convince him not to play. And if he wasn't a superstar, he wouldn't be playing hockey. He should retire. It's like
Yeah.
at what point? Okay, so answer this. At what point does a star player like Crosby? At what point is like enough?
Well, so what's the precedence? We have Eric Lindros. I think Keith Primo was in a similar situation. And he's starting to get around the number of known concussions that are similar to players like along that timeline, that head concussions like that. I don't know. It depends. Every concussion's different. That's the other thing, too.
Yeah.
It's not like, 4 concussions, that's like a line in the sand and you've crossed
Totally.
that. I don't know. It totally depends on what the concussions are like and how he recovers from them. But I think it's getting to be a real point of concern for him and the Penguins.
And like, there's obviously gonna be precedents, but like, the game is moving in such a way that people are faster, the guys are stronger, they hit harder.
Yeah.
In all aspects, it's a rougher sport.
Totally.
Even when they try and cut down the hitting and like kind of the violence aspect, these guys are just going to take, that out of the game and add like an element of speed in, which in turn turns into force.
Yep. Everything's rough. Yeah, exactly what you said. Man, it's hard. That's scary though. After the Niskanen hit, when there started to be questions in the media about is Crosby gonna have his career cut short? I don't care what you think of Crosby. Oh, he's a whiner, blah blah blah. That's bad for hockey. That's a sad day.
Yeah.
If Crosby has to hang up his skates early.
Yeah. And in a weird way, maybe not in a weird way, but in kind of a more critical way, you really get an appreciation for the guys who are going out there and not getting hurt. How many games has Ovi missed? Ovi's a machine.
Yeah.
He's missed less than 20 games in his whole career.
It's true.
Andrew Cogliano, he hasn't missed a game.
And Ovechkin plays rough and like
he's a heavy hitter.
Yeah,
throws his weight around and like that's not really I have a hard time believing that's like a skill that you can teach. Like I feel like, and I'm the last person in the world who's gonna call Crosby a whiner.
Yeah, no,
I'm a big Crosby fan, but is that a skill you can teach? Like what if you were to go back and kind of like study them? Like what makes them so different? Is it just the fact that Crosby's more of a dangler and like does he put himself into more vulnerable situations? Does he look at Andrew Andrew Cogliano's not like a sniper or a hard hitter or nothing. Like he's just like a solid top 6 guy. He's never missed a game. What does he know that Clark MacArthur doesn't? Who
knows? Yeah, that's a hard thing to and maybe someone with more experience on the ice or a coaching staff would be able to answer that, but that's hard to say as a fan just watching the sport on TV because there's so much you don't see.
You can almost that can almost be a trait that you want on your team. You want, and I don't mean to say like we want tough guys and tough guys only. I mean like there's man games lost every season, right? Mm-hmm. Take like a Moneyball approach to building a team instead of going after the guys who are the best. Like get the guys who are gonna miss the least.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, that worked out really well for the Leafs this season. They had historically few injuries, man games lost to injury, and I'm sure that helped them make the playoffs. Like that's definitely like a game changing thing for them. That was kind of I think just the luck of the draw, but totally like.
Do you how closely do you follow the Blue Jays?
Not
they
much.
have over $70 million on the disabled list right now.
What?
Yeah. Donaldson, Tulo, Martin, Francesco Lariano.
Wait, how long is Donaldson
Sanchez. Sanchez is coming back though.
Okay.
I think like those are the main guys and a couple like lesser knowns, but like
this is a pretty big deal players.
That's 3/4 of your lineup. Your
Former
starting lineup.
MVP.
Yeah.
One of your like aces.
Yeah.
Jeez. So do you think that's why they're sucking? They're getting better now.
They are getting better, and it's weird because they're geting better because people who aren't very good are playing good. Like their top two hitters right now are Ryan. Their top 3 hitters right now.
Yeah.
In the lineup are Kevin Pillar, Ryan Goins, and Justin Smoke.
What?
Top 3 hitters. Anyways,
that's like their weak part of their rotation.
I know. I know.
It's literally like in a row. Man, that's crazy. Speaking of role players, though. Interesting in the Pittsburgh series that Jake Guentzel, for a rookie, most points by a Penguins rookie in the playoffs ever with 14 points.
Unreal.
Crazy. Playing with Crosby helps, I guess. But also, I don't know. Crosby is never paired with like another superstar player. That's really never. I mean, they tried with Kessel, but like that didn't work.
Last year, the top line was like him and Rust and Hornquist, I think, in the playoffs.
Yeah. And it just works. It's about chemistry. It's not about how do you stack your top line. Pittsburgh's never been like that.
That's why they took, what's his face, on Team Canada who had no business being there one year. Kunitz.
Well, he played with him in Pittsburgh and it worked. Yeah, totally.
But like, I feel like
these players have something, clearly. They clearly have some sort of talent and Crosby likes them. I think chemistry is clearly the most important thing.
Not Crosby. Pittsburgh's getting a lot of production by those rookies and kind of
Yeah.
like their third and fourth line guys. Like Brian Rust,
Yep.
3 game-winning goals now that have decided series. So like that's
Wow.
kind of cool.
That's
a
cool.
cool claim to
yeah.
fame.
I saw on the
that's-
broadcast that he has 6 points, 5 goals, and 1 assist, like in series clinching games overall, and 3 of those are game winners.
And that's what you want. Like that's what
totally.
you go out. You look at Justin Williams. He was 7-0 until last night. 7-0 in game 7.
now.
7-1 now. But Ryan Getzlaf, who now has like 34 points in his last 28 playoff games, like. Montreal could have used one of those guys.
There's something to be said about that. Like, I guess it's an intangible factor. It's a playing in a different mindset. It's such a mental thing. Like going into the playoffs, there's these people that seem to be able to just lock in, and then there's some people like all of the Washington Capitals that can't lock into the playoffs, and something's going wrong.
It was interesting working your team, and Ovi. He was on the third line for a little bit. He scored his first point of the playoff series against Pittsburgh on the third line.
Something didn't seem right. I wonder if something comes out later that's like he was playing through a severe injury.
Well, no, it came out today. He was pumping.
Oh, okay.
He was numbing a
numbing
lower body
something.
injury. I don't think it really came out what it was, but he had numbing agents that he was pumping into his leg.
Something was off there though, for sure.
Okay, so I found this crazy rant. I don't know this guy.
Yeah. Oh, so I looked him up. He's a Russian sports writer.
His name's Slava Malamud, and I guess he's known Ovi since he was 17.
Yeah, I guess Russian works with the team. I guess he writes for. He's written for Russian Machine Never Breaks, the Caps blog. Yeah.
Okay, so it's 18 tweets. I'm gonna read it, and then we'll just chat about it quick because I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay. Slava Malamud. Caps' problems extend beyond a bad
defensive
pair, an underperforming goal, and an underperforming goalie. The failure is endemic and systematic. It's the result of choices. Fanboy owner Linz's, I don't even know how to say his last name.
Is it
Leonsis? Let's go with Leonsis. Leonsis made in 2004 when he decided his business model would not be building a winner, but servicing a marketable megastar. There's nothing wrong with building a team around a star, but it has to be the right kind of star. Ovi is not a win-first type. I've known Ovi since he was 17. Kid was born with a silverware set in his mouth, always told he's the greatest, teammates must be worthy. But his demands on himself stay the same. He's not the bloodied, inspirational leader. He is the tousled hair, sexy, charismatic ruffian. Yes, he's the NHL's favorite stripper who's been given the hockey world a lap dance for 13 years. Sorry, but the length of your erection, hockey world, is unhealthy by now. You need to face the truth. The Caps personality cult culture is counterproductive to winning the cup. Fueled by innumerable fanboy blogs and media whipped into terrified subservience by Caps PR, the culture feeds on self, kills all dissent, and spurns all criticism. You know, Caps fans, that despite all the issues Oates and Hunter had, your main problem with them was trying to turn Ovi into a man of the system. You hate that. You want your boy toy wild and free. Everyone wants this of Ovi, even Russian coaches. Compare this to Crosby, who will take any role on Canada without complaint. You call 87 a whiner, but who whined the loudest during the lockout? Threatening to stay in the KHL? Who whines now? Threatening to leave the league to get an Olympic trinket? While Leonsis bends over backwards to satisfy all his ridiculous demands, this guy who looks out for himself and his public image, wild and sexy rebel, patriot of the motherland. His only interest in the cup is how his reflection will look in it. Problem is, Leonsis has the same priorities. He has dissolved in himself and the team in Ovechkin's 13-year-long marketing campaign. It worked out great financially. The price to pay is being humiliated every year by real winners. Congrats, Caps. You've sold lots of t-shirts. Congrats, Caps fans. You've been had. Oh, and that sound you've heard is your window of opportunity slamming shut. I hope this wild ride on the charisma train was fun. Rant out. Enjoy your Redskins mini camp.
What a mouthful. Jeez. And so wordy, too.
Like, Buddy's a writer.
Yeah, that's true. This is an article. He just should have made an article.
But like, I feel like this is gaining more and more traction. A lot of people dismiss this really, really quickly.
Yeah.
And I get that.
Well, the thing for me is there's a lot of players like that throughout sports that are all about their image and being the guy. Like, I would say LeBron is kind of like that. So it's hard to compare. But it must have something to it now, I think.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. I love Ovi. Like, I can't say I love Ovi more on this show if I tried. I love Ovi, and I want him to win a cup. But, like, I don't think he's that far off. Like, I don't think this is a crazy thought.
I think there is something there, yeah.
I'm a lot of people are Crosby or Ovechkin. I love them both. I think they're both great hockey players. Yep. I like them on and off the ice, whatever. But I thought when he said, this was really interesting to me. Compare this to Crosby, who will take any role on Canada without complaint. You call 87 a whiner, but who whined loudest during the lockout? Threatening to stay in the KHL, who whines now? Threatening to leave league to get an Olympic trinket?
It's true. That's 100% true. That I think serves his point more than anything else there.
Yeah.
It's clear that Ovechkin at a moment's notice would be like, maybe it's not clear, but I'm pretty sure that Ovechkin at a moment's notice would be like, screw this team, screw the Capitals, I'm gone. I'm going back to the KHL.
He can be a megastar.
Oh.
In Russia.
He is. Yeah.
But like if he went back, oh man.
Totally. Yeah, it's hard. There's so many people are questioning Ovechkin after this. There's and just the team in general, like where do they go from here is the biggest thing, I think. And so people have been saying,
and honestly, like they've had the best record since 2008.
Yeah.
The two teams who have the second best record are Pittsburgh and Chicago, who combined have 5 of those titles since 2008.
Yep, we've been dominating.
And they haven't made it past the second round. Like,
that's really bad.
Do you trade Ovi?
Well, that's one of the things. Like, yeah. So the question is, do you, in general, just make small moves or no moves, or do you make huge moves? And that's one of the biggest moves you can make. And if it's a culture thing, because he's the center of that culture, maybe you try something totally different and you get rid of him. You could get something for Ovi. Holy crap!
Could you imagine?
It would be that would be pretty great. I'd be into that as a storyline. Just Ovi going somewhere and something happening.
Yeah, it's a damn shame, but it will be. I think that's kind of the team with the kind of the most pressure to either make moves or not make moves this offseason.
Is it too in the core's heads now that they're failures? Do you think, like, what's your opinion on this? Like, do they, where would you go with it?
Like, I think you've had your shot. I think a reasonable response is, look, we've had the President's Trophy 2 years in a row now. Mm-hmm. We have the best record since 2008. That's almost 10 years. Yep. Your window is shutting. Yeah. Ovi's getting older. You have so many UFAs walking.
Yeah.
I think you trade Ovi while you can get something for him. You can. They could. I think I think what the kind of the big choice is now is they could keep trying and keep building.
Well, they're not too old.
They're not too old.
No, they have a window where that could go a few more years.
Okay, but tell me this: what happens if or when Ovi walks away?
That's true. You lose him for nothing.
Like I feel like at this point in time, with the Olympics not going, it might be like
and another lockout potentially looming a couple years after that.
And
I saw Kovalchuk do it.
Right now, you could pull something for him.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
You have a good young goalie in Grubauer. Mm-hmm. You have a great goalie right now in Holtby. You could tear down and you could make your rebuild 2 years.
You could pull Kuznetsov through this shitty rebuild. He's really young.
Yeah.
You have pieces still on this team. Yeah.
And they could.
It's painful. That's a hard sell.
For sure.
When you say, like, we could very well win the President's Trophy again next year and the year after that, even with a bunch of UFAs walking. Maybe not win it, but, like, they'll be
contenders.
They're guaranteed playoffs for the next couple of years.
But like if you don't win this year, you would, and you don't win last year. Like I have a hard time thinking they win the next 2 years.
They went out and got the most clutch playoff player maybe in the history of the NHL, and Justin Williams. They went and got TJ Oshie, a great clutch player as well.
Totally.
You did everything you could possibly do to stack this team.
You paid the price no other team wanted to pay for Shattenkirk.
Yeah.
like
you've already done the stack your team option. You've already tinkered with things. You've already fired the coach. You've done everything. So I think it's tear down or just go with what you have because it's literally for sure the best team on paper in the NHL.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That sucks. I feel really bad for Caps fans. It seems like a good hockey community, and they're going through some shit right now.
All right. So I said
you nailed this one.
Yeah, I said Pittsburgh in 7. You had Washington in 7. You could have had it just as
easily. Yeah.
Just as easily. I knew it'd be a good series.
Yeah, it certainly was. The being down 3-1 Washington and clawing their way back into it made me think like this is it. They've got it finally, but nope.
All right, moving on.
The other game 7, Edmonton Anaheim.
Yeah, it was man, I'm so over Anaheim.
I know. The least exciting Stanley Cup final there could be. I said going into the second round would be Pittsburgh and Anaheim, and it could very well be a Pittsburgh-Anaheim final.
Best case scenario would have been Edmonton and Ottawa.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Second place Nashville, Ottawa will do.
But yeah, like lots of controversy in the games 3 and 4. Mm-hmm. Goalie interference.
Yep.
You know, players are voicing their opinion. It's a
that Lucic being like, I don't know what goalie interference is anymore, to be honest.
But this is what I hate about goalie interference. A referee can call a goal off due to goalie interference, but they don't call a penalty.
Yeah, that's weird.
But goalie interference isn't a call. Goalie interference is a penalty.
Yeah.
It's not a goal because they committed a penalty, but they don't give them a penalty. I don't like what. Like
you can
I don't
get away with
like
goalie interference if the puck goes in the net.
Yeah, basically. Like honestly, like so are there two lines? Is there like a you kind of did it, so we'll call the goal back? And like so what happens when they interfere with the goalie the same way when they don't score? Like I just feel like it's the most loosey-goosey rule in hockey.
It's like something we wouldn't normally call. Well, yeah, I don't know. It's
but like
bizarre.
How do you determine whether it's a you can call a goal off because of it, but you don't call a penalty because of it? Like where obviously there's a line drawn.
Yep.
So where is that line, and why can't it be more consistent? I don't know.
It should be something where you're literally, it's a black and white. I don't know. This is or isn't a call. I don't get it.
What does the blue paint mean anymore?
Yeah, what does the blue paint mean anymore? Does it actually? Well, because there was the rule, obviously, that decided that. Sabres, Stars.
Yeah, you can't touch the puck.
Yeah,
with
you
your
can't
glove.
touch the blue. That rule doesn't exist anymore, but I don't know.
Yeah, it does. You can't.
Wait, no, I thought they changed that rule.
No, that you definitely can't touch the puck with your glove in the blue paint.
Something changed. Oh, your with your glove. Wait, sorry.
You know what? I don't know.
Whatever.
We'll look it up. But yeah, overall good series. It's a shame. It's a damn shame.
It's a damn shame.
McDavid didn't pull out a win, but lots of learning for that young team. Draisaitl, a machine.
Yeah, he's proven like he is an elite player, right under McDavid's level for sure. And that's to have a 1-2 punch like that. Every championship team in the last decade has had a 1-2 punch like that.
You need like those. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Obi Backstrom, Crosby Malkin.
Yeah.
Kane Tays, you gotta.
Perry Getzlaf.
Yeah.
Who beat him? What was it, game 2, that crazy collapse where they were up 3-0, lost 6-3.
No joke. I fell asleep with I think 8 minutes. I fell asleep on the couch. I can distinctly remember falling asleep and being like, oh, I'm okay with falling asleep because it's 3-0. And I woke up in the second overtime. And I was like kind of groggy. Like that's a decent amount of time. Like it was like an hour later. I was napping, but it's like midnight or like 12:30. I wake up and I'm like 2 OT tie game 3. Like I just couldn't make sense of it. And I went on some Facebook or something. People were talking about it. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I'm so disappointed I missed that.
Missed something special.
But yeah, crazy collapse. But what a bounce back the next game. Just slaughtered them.
Yeah, that game 6 where they beat them 7-1. Nuts.
I turned and I knew it would be a good game. So I no joke. After falling asleep, I paused it. I have Game Center, and I paused it to go make dinner, and then I got like a text or something. And someone was like, "Yo, it's 5-0." I was like, I need to stop not watching hockey. I need to stop not
You have
watching
to be
hockey.
glued to the TV. Well, that's the thing. Sometimes, like, you can have a whole period, nothing happens. Sometimes everything happens.
5 goals.
Yeah. That's what's great about hockey.
But that was a good series, even down to like the last minute. Like they had a couple really good. They pulled the goalie. They got the extra man, and they had their system set up, and it was close until the last buzzer.
Yeah.
Could have gone either way, but
it's hard because I feel like everyone's talking about after this series how Edmonton's going to be back. It's the same thing as the Leafs when they got out. It's like this is just the start for this team, and it was a great learning experience. Blah blah blah. This is a weird year because I feel like the teams where we had that like wave of superstar talent like Kane and Getzlaf and Crosby and Ovechkin. Those teams have dominated for the last decade. As their players start to get older, those teams are going to kind of get worse. So they're going to go on a downward trend, while these teams with McDavid and Matthews and all that are going to go on that upward trend. So we're kind of like in this weird period where those teams are starting to go down and the new generation teams are starting to go
totally
up. What I'm saying ultimately is I feel like it was a wide open year. They could have easily won the cup.
Yeah.
It could have been very much there for them if they had been able to get
Blackhawks
past.
got swept in the first round. Anything can happen still.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's hockey every year, honestly, but it's a shame. But I don't know. And Randy might get his second cup with the Ducks.
Good one, Randy.
Good one.
I had Edmonton. I had Edmonton in 5.
Man, I had Edmonton in 6. I remember us
7.
debating about that, who would take 6. Didn't matter. It was not correct at all.
Hey, Sam.
Yeah.
If you had to guess who the best-selling Nashville jersey was, who would you guess?
I mean, I would think PK. No. Geez. I would go... Probably not PK. I would go... Pecorine.
Subban.
It's Subban already?
Yeah!
I was like, that seems
He's
dumb because he's just got there, and I feel like they have this... They should have...
No way.
Like
they
they're like
welcomed him with
long-standing
open
guys.
arms.
He's
awesome.
the guy. He's the guy in the NHL. Like there's no personality like
He's the
PK.
guy who sings during warm-ups.
Yeah. Oh, and bobs his head a little bit.
And then gets called a clown by like the stupidest analyst. I don't even want to call him an analyst. Like hockey guy.
Garbage man.
He somehow ended up managing
Let's
a team.
not even say his name.
Somehow ended up managing a team. Now he's like on a broadcast every now and then, and he just says stupid things.
Does he forget hockey is entertainment, and we like seeing personalities in players, and PK has backed it up time and time again.
I don't know what else he has to do to like get people off his back about like his performance, because
we've said it before, and we'll say it again. I'm fully on the Nashville bandwagon.
Yeah.
I think if not for anything, just PK to be like, listen, look, here it is. I did it.
Yeah. I'm on the same boat. That being said, though, I do not miss him being fined for diving. Came out today that he was fined for diving, and which is interesting because for those who don't know, you don't get fined your first time diving, and it doesn't become public. Usually, it doesn't become public.
Right.
You get like a phone call, "Hey, you dove, pay us money," and it's all like kind of low key.
Yeah.
Or you get a warning. I think it's
let
2
people know.
warnings before you get fined, and then the fine is public.
Okay.
So this means that he has had 2 warnings, and he is now getting penalized.
And what time period is that over? Just like overall?
I don't know if it restarts in the playoffs or not. I wouldn't.
Oh,
imagine.
it's like a season thing.
Yeah, I think it's like a season-long thing.
Okay.
But yeah, it's I feel like Nashville is really the team right now that could. I don't know. They swept Chicago. They can do anything. They might play well. They might not. I don't know.
It's true.
I hope they beat Anaheim. I'd love for them to go to the Stanley Cup Finals.
They're hot right now, and I think that's the most important thing at the end of the day.
Totally.
And they have a good goalie. I mean, anything could happen. That is the nice thing about these playoffs. I feel like I don't even think Pittsburgh's got it locked down at this point, even though I think they're the best team left.
Okay, really quick, let's go through just the conference finals. So Pittsburgh and Ottawa. I think the number one thing to look out here for is going to be Carlson.
Yeah.
Carlson, if he keeps it up, I think he's kind of the game changer. Right. I think Ottawa has really proved that they can grind you down. Mm-hmm. And if they can play that kind of defensive style with Guy Boucher, that's kind of defense, maybe not defense first, but defense all the time.
Yeah.
I think they might have a shot. Pittsburgh, true. Crosby needs to stay healthy,
Yep.
Avoid Chris Neal if he gets put in the lineup.
For some reason.
He needs to stay healthy. I don't think, they're already kind of ridden, Letang's out.
Mm-hmm.
Murray's out. Actually, he backed up Fleury the other night.
Oh, right. He was in. Yep.
But they need to stay healthy.
Yeah.
That's your team right there. Nashville, Anaheim, I think the biggest thing about this series is going to be the defense. Both teams have very young, very strong, very hot defense cores right now.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think that's going to be really good, shut down hockey.
Do you think, I feel like that goaltending battle is a little mismatched. Rene's been playing out of his mind. Gibson's been pulled. Yeah, he has not been good, but he's been pulled in these playoffs even.
And that's something that Nashville has not had an issue with these playoffs is scoring.
Yeah.
And they've gone to get I think Jake Allen was one of the best goalies in the playoffs this year.
Mm-hmm.
And
they didn't make it go to 7. They were pretty dominant in that series, even though it was a 6-game series.
I'm gonna say Nashville in 6.
I'm gonna go Nashville in 7. What are you gonna say in the East?
I'm going to Ottawa in 7. I want Ottawa to win so bad.
I'm going to go Pittsburgh in 6.
All right.
Pittsburgh-Nashville final.
All right.
Yellow jerseys. Should we go quickly through these league notes that we got here?
Yeah, let's go through super quick. Bishop to Dallas. Yeah. And Bishop. Only for negotiating rights to get a head start. Mm-hmm. There's no contract there, but they obviously are chasing him, which would put them with 3 goalies.
3 very expensive goalies. So I don't know what Bishop wants. I'm sure he wants a 5 or 6 year deal. Yeah.
If not more. Probably
I'm sure. And
5.5 to 6 maybe. 6.5?
Yeah, totally in that range. I mean, Lettinen on their team has $5.9 million contract. That's so overpriced.
So I don't know what they're going to do if they leave one of their goalies exposed and hope Vegas takes them. I don't know how you get away with paying $5.9 million for a backup goalie. Yeah. But
the thing is, Vegas has all the cap space in the world and no goalie whatsoever currently. So.
And they could buy them out, but that's also kind of expensive. But the other thing is they both have the modified no trade clauses this season.
Ooh.
Which makes things difficult.
Yeah. How did they get into this awful situation? They'll be out of it soon because I think at least Lettinen's contract expires, right?
Yeah, after this season. Both do.
So maybe you just ride it out and suck one more year.
Literally, if they sign Bishop, though, that's honestly $15 million in goalies.
Insane. And one's going to be a third stringer.
How do you feel about the Zaitsev signing?
It's good.
Babcock and Lou really like him.
They are really locking into a core now of Riley, Gardner, and Zaitsev are their guys.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can really justify with the cap getting another elite defenseman that commands that much money. So you hope they're good. I mean, Zaitsev had promising moments, and he was a rookie. So
7 years is a long time though.
I trust the Shannon plan still.
Barry is out of Worlds. Tyson Barry is out of Worlds.
For wrestling.
With a leg laceration due to a hotel room wrestling match. I just want to know who he was wrestling.
I know, exactly. Who is it? What if it wasn't even someone on his team? It's just did they
suplex him through a coffee table? What happened? Just probably the most bizarre headline this week.
It's got to come out eventually. Well, the next time he gets interviewed for anything, it's so that wrestling match. Who was that?
And lastly, Sabres found their new GM,
Jason Botterill, who played with them for a couple games in the early 2000s.
Just a weird note.
Yeah.
You found that you found this.
Yeah, they interviewed or considered a lot of different people. Craig Conroy, Tom Fitzgerald, Bill Guerin, They wanted to talk to Martin Brodeur, but he declined, and Chris Drury wasn't allowed because he's currently the Rangers assistant GM. All those players, I feel like you grab a copy of NHL 2004, you put it on. they're all there, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's a lot of players are kind of recognizing. A lot of those players though, they didn't get the contracts like they are today. Mm-hmm. So they're not, they don't build up that wealth during their career. They're definitely well off.
Yeah,
but not by.
But they want to keep working them. There's been an influx now because Rob Blake is now the totally. GM in LA, and Brodeur obviously is the assistant GM in.
You look anywhere, it's like
a whole wave. It feels like hockey comes in waves. There's like generations of talent, and then they retire, and then they all do something after that and at once. It's cool to be in between things, kind of, I feel like.
All right, so lots of hockey to come up. We'll have our next episode right before the Stanley Cup Championship.
It's going to be good.
But that's all the time we have for this week. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Thanks to Tattoo Sound and Music. Check them out at ta2music.com. They host us here while we record the show. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Puck Talk Show. We have regular content on our Instagram. Our show is available on YouTube at Puck Talk Show as well. And this has been Puck Talk. Thanks for talking hockey with us.